Psychologists have long understood that human beings don't experience the environment the same way. But what's truly fascinating is that our reaction to seasons is not just a physical preference, it's deeply rooted in our personality structure, our nervous system, and even the way our brain processes sensory information. Summer hating is not a mood, it's not laziness, it's not an excuse to stay indoors. It is a legitimate psychological and neurological experience that millions of people live through every single year, mostly in silence, because the world has already decided that summer is supposed to be perfect. Let's start with sensory sensitivity. Research published in the journal Environmental Psychology has found that individuals with higher sensory processing sensitivity, a trait identified in roughly 15 to 20% of the population, experience environmental stimuli at a significantly more intense level than others. This means that the brightness of summer sun, the heat radiating off concrete, the noise of crowded spaces, the physical discomfort of sweating, all of these things that an average person filters out are being processed in real time by the highly sensitive person's nervous system at full volume. It's not that they're being dramatic. Their brain is literally working harder to handle the exact same environment that others barely notice. And this is where it gets deeper. People who hate summer are often introverted by nature, but that's only the surface layer. Beneath that, many of them are what psychologists call high reactivity individuals, people whose nervous systems are biologically wired to respond more intensely to external stimulation. Summer, by its very nature, is the most stimulating season of the year. More light, more heat, more noise, more social expectation, more visibility. For someone whose nervous system is already running at high capacity, summer doesn't feel like a gift, it feels like an assault. Every single day becomes an act of managing overstimulation while pretending to be fine. Now here's the part that most people completely miss, and I want you to pay close attention because this might be the thing that finally makes everything click for you. The hatred of summer is often not really about summer at all. It is about social pressure and identity conflict. When a season becomes a cultural symbol of happiness, joy, freedom, and social success, it creates an unspoken rule. You should be happy right now. You should want to go out. You should be thriving. And for someone who naturally retreats, naturally craves quiet, naturally feels more alive in the muted tones of autumn or the stillness of winter, summer becomes a season of constant self-questioning. Why can't I enjoy this? What is wrong with me? That shame spiral, that quiet sense of being fundamentally different from everyone around you, is psychologically exhausting in a way that the heat alone could never be. There is also a fascinating connection between summer hating and what psychologists call reverse seasonal affective disorder. While most people are familiar with the winter version of SAD, where reduced sunlight causes depression, a lesser-known form actually peaks in summer. People who experience this often report increased anxiety, disrupted sleep due to longer daylight hours, irritability, and a sense of losing control. The extended heat and light essentially overstimulate their circadian rhythm, making it harder to rest, harder to think clearly, and harder to feel emotionally grounded. This isn't weakness. This is the nervous system sending clear signals that are being systematically ignored because the cultural narrative says summer should be your favorite season. What's even more psychologically interesting is the relationship between summer haters and their inner identity. Many of these individuals are deeply introspective. They find meaning in stillness. They do their best thinking in quiet spaces, in cooler temperatures, in environments that invite reflection rather than performance. Summer, culturally and physically, does the opposite. It pulls people outward into social displays, outdoor gatherings, and visible happiness. For the person who lives deeply inward, this feels like being asked to become someone else entirely for 3 to 4 months straight. That kind of sustained identity suppression has a real psychological cost that rarely gets talked about. And the most important thing to understand about all of this is that there is nothing to fix. A person who hates summer is not broken, not antisocial, not depressed by default. They are simply wired differently, and they deserve the same validation that we give to people who love every golden second of it. Your relationship with the seasons is a reflection of your nervous system, your personality depth, and your need for an environment that actually aligns with who you are. If you recognized yourself somewhere in this video, I want you to drop a comment below and tell me which season do you actually feel most yourself in. because I genuinely believe the season you love most reveals something profound about your psychology, and I want to read every single one of your answers. And if this video made you feel seen in a way you weren't expecting, the best thing you can do right now is like it, because that one tap tells the algorithm to show this to someone else who has been quietly struggling through summer for years, wondering if they're the only one. You're not. You never were.